Capricorn, your weekly love tarot reading begins with a Five of Pentacles, a Seven of Swords, a Six of Swords, and a Four of Pentacles. Your person is coming in with a King of Wands, a Queen of Wands, an Ace of Cups, and a Four of Swords. So at the bottom of this deck, you have a Seven of Wands. So a battle, right, is raging. A battle for your slice of the world, of what you've built, of what you've created, right? So let's get right into your reading. I see toxicity ahead, I'm going to tell you straight up, but let's go ahead and take a look at this. You're resonating with Five of Pentacles, and they're resonating with a King of Wands. So listen, recently you have had an upset, a real sort of breakdown. You've been sort of laid low, had to start again, hit rock bottom. There's a feeling of being ostracized here. Perhaps a breakup or a split that's really cost you physically. Your person is coming in with King of Wands energy. Well, that king is very arrogant. In this regard here, the vibe, the feeling, the energy is one of someone who's quite arrogant, who is quite sure of themselves, someone who is going to do what they want to do when they do it, and they really don't care. They're not really caring very much who it affects. But however, let's move forward and see how deep we can get here. A Page of Cups is coming in and a Four of Cups for them. So yeah, Page of Cups energy has entered into this connection, Capricorn. Listen, I think it feels almost as if somebody else has sort of interfered here. Somebody's gotten involved in this connection, like some real fly-by-night energy, some shiny new object type of vibe. It feels almost as if, like the first person to come along and do a little bit of flirting with your person, they just went ahead and did whatever they wanted to do. They're not really coming towards, they're giving up on this, right? Not only are they not sort of giving you any energy, they're like throwing away this connection. It feels as though they're just tossing it away for no reason at all. Now, how do you guys see? Well, for no reason, but when I say for no reason, yeah, for something that doesn't matter, a quickie sort of type of deal, right? How do you guys see each other? Well, you see them as the Seven of Swords, and they see you as Queen of Wands. Yeah, you see them as being really deceptive and treacherous, backstabbing, shisty. You just kind of realize, oh my God, you're really shisty. Queen of Wands energy is how they see you. So Capricorn, they see that you are very strong, very resilient, right? It's interesting that Five of Pentacles, it almost feels as though, Capricorn, you've been a little bit starved, perhaps. This is a feeling of not so much loss, but not having anything, being starved, being scarce of things, not having enough, and not enough sort of physical contact, affection, etc., which is what may have led you into this connection with this individual. But it's like, it's like they give you nothing. For some of you where there was nobody else involved, it could very well be here. And I get a vibe of this Page of Pentacles may just be representing you indeed in this relationship or in this pursuit or attempt at a connection with this person. And they just kind of I think they kind of just blow wind back in your face, and it just feels dark. Three of Pentacles energy and Four of Pentacles. So you begin to sort of say, okay, well, guess what? And you have Four of Pentacles over here too. So it's re-clarified. You begin to say, guess what? I'm going to move away. I think I've had enough. You're not moving towards me. I've had enough of being without affection and connection and people. I thought perhaps I had something here with you, but you're just coming off as shisty. Let me move forward and begin to build some connections elsewhere. And your person begins to feel a little bit I want to say, intimidated, threatened. That's the word. They begin to feel threatened by this. So there's a distinct vibe here, Capricorn, of you dealing with somebody who is very easily takes you for granted when you're around. But when you begin to do your own thing and move away, this is when they begin to love you and feel threatened about you being away. And so you're dealing with someone who here it feels like you're representing as somebody very strong and wise and experienced here. They could be your consort, but they're just a little bit still too immature. They're just a little bit still too kind of childlike. Seven of Wands down here is Mars and Leo energy. It almost feels like an unevolved Leo or childlike energy involved here, where yes, they want you. They clearly feel love. Let's go ahead and see how you guys see your roles in this relationship. They see their role in this relationship as budding love, Ace of Cups energy. So love is coming in for them, but for you, you're moving away. You're like, oh no, I think I'm going to turn my back on this because this shystiness is something I don't need. And it's almost as if as soon as you begin to realize, oh my God, this person is quite shysty and I'm not there for it. I think I want to move on and, begin to build some bridges somewhere else. This is when they're suddenly all full of love again for you. Very, very toxic, Capricorn. What can I say? It's toxic. That's someone who you're dealing with, someone who is childlike in their emotional maturity, in as much as they know what they want, but they also don't have the strength, the confidence, or the self-esteem to maintain it, right? So they want you, they want all of this power that the Queen of Wands has, this experience, this empathy, this understanding. Of course they want somebody like that in their life. Who wouldn't, right? But their own development, their own emotional development, self-esteem, confidence, their own inner voice is so underdeveloped that they don't have anything to bring to the table of themselves that can keep you apart from playing with your emotions, which is what they do. Suddenly begin to be shysty, don't act right, don't come to you, don't give you energy, do things that are shysty, play games, etc. All of this elicits an emotion in you and it mimics some kind of relationship for them, but ultimately it's just a toxic relationship. So let's go ahead and pull some clarifiers on this last section of your reading. Then we'll get into your oracles and animal spirits. Yeah, I would say, Capricorn, that the best thing here to do is to move away, walk away. And when I say move away here with the Six of Swords, I'm not entirely sure that it's a drastic move, like a physical move necessarily. It may just be you turning your back on them and cutting them off. What do you clarify with Ten of Swords and Queen of Cups? There we have it. So Ten of Swords, you give it up. You move away and you say enough is enough. Enough isn't enough. You have enough of whatever behavior they've been engaging in here that's really been a blow to you, that's really hurt you, that's, what I mean, exacerbated this feeling here of being disconnected and unloved in a way. And so, you begin to sort of rise above that and resonate on from that. Your person comes in with Queen of Cups. Again, now all of a sudden they want to dig deep. Now all of a sudden they want an emotional connection with you. They don't want to pour out the cup anymore. Now they want to connect with you. And yet, how do you guys end up? Well, it's interesting here. You both have 4 energy, and 4 is the number for stability in tarot. Well, for you, you realize that the most important thing is the stability that you've maintained for yourself thus far. And so you're very desperate to hold on to that and not to be destabilized by this person. Begins to sort of say, okay, let me rethink all of this. Maybe let me rethink the way that I've been behaving. And so there is some hope here that indeed, because of your your willingness to step away, to move away, to say, yeah, I'm not going to keep, giving into this because of, and all three readings today for the earth signs have really touched on the same theme. And we are in Taurus season right now, but this theme of like, look, not putting up with behavior that it's not up to scratch, that's not up to the level, that's not up to the standard, dealing with people who are either shisty or deceptive, dealing with people who are either aloof or withdrawn, or on and off ghosting you. 1 minute they're there, the next minute they're not. 1 minute they're giving you energy, the next minute they're not. Just dealing with wishy-washy people and deciding that that's not good enough and stepping away. And in each of these cases, the people suddenly decide they know how to act. Suddenly they decide that, oh yeah, well, maybe I should be putting some more energy in or moving towards my person with some love and some confidence. Spirit of the pumpkin, spirit of the stranger. Wow, spirit of travel. Well, there's your travel. So some of you indeed will be moving away, relocating, moving on, right? Spirit of the stranger, caution, danger. Watch out. Yeah, this Seven of Swords is strong energy here, This person, it's very shisty, deceptive. It's futile. People who engage in this kind of toxic behavior here of lying and deceiving people, they never get what they want. So it's ultimately, Seven of Swords is also the card for futility in tarot. Never really achieving your end goal. But in the meantime, just crashing through people's lives, Spirit of the pumpkin, autumn harvest, midnight. This energy, the Spirit of the pumpkin oracle card oftentimes comes in my reading as a timing card. And so it could very well be that for some of you, it won't be until the autumn time that this whole thing is resolved in some way, or there's some kind of closure or result here, right? Okay, so let's get into your animal spirits. Yeah, this is a tough one. The lamb, interesting. And the gazelle. Well, the lamb is an earth animal spirit, and the gazelle is fire. And the lamb represents, something that's been brought into the world, something creative, something fresh, something new, something vulnerable, and something that really needs to be protected in a very earthy way. And I feel like, Capricorn, this really represents your peace of mind, because you've come from a place of scarcity. You've really, listen, whether this energy here represents just your living environment or just the physical connections you've had in your life, you just may have been, living a life of really just working a lot, not having a lot physically, not having a lot financially, and also not having a lot of connections with people. And so where you are at now is a new place that really needs to be protected. That lamb energy talks about something that truly needs to be protected and allowed to grow. Gazelle energy, the gazelle, fire energy, but the gazelle is highly alert and constantly cautious, just alert and cautious and ready. The gazelle also represents sort of action, grace in action and motion, self-preservation and protection. Listen, everything eats the gazelle, right? They're like the potato chips of the Serengeti. So the gazelle is constantly sort of like aware and alert and has to be ready to protect itself. And so this energy is here for you as well. Capricorn, thank you so much for joining me today for your weekly love tarot reading. If you got something out of it, please go ahead and hit that like button. You may want to subscribe or share this video. Any of those three actions, I really appreciate you taking the time to do those. And that's it. Thank you so much. I wish you and everyone in your life and your cross watchers love, life, and happiness. And I hope to see everybody here next Thursday on my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot, for your weekly love tarot reading. Bye-bye now.